So the next panel is going to be moderated by a long-term friend of mine, Anca Albu, and she's been like a great supporter for the Eastern European startup ecosystem, and she's been like on virtually any startup event I've been in the last 5 years. So I mean, I've seen her probably in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different countries and a lot of different conferences. So I think that is really amazing what kind of energy she puts in. Currently, she's in charge of CEE changers, pushing the Eastern European ecosystem. She has a very diverse background, anything from graphic design, entrepreneurship, and psychology, lots of other things.
A lot of things.
And she'll like continue the conversation, which we had a little bit this morning as well, is like when you're like, she has like a lot of entrepreneurs and they're going to give us a perspective on how important it is to build a startup here in Romania or build it from abroad, and what are the different options. So thank you very much, Anca, for hosting the panel. The stage is all yours, and of course of the fantastic speakers that we're going to have.
Thank you very much, Philip.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first panel after the coffee break. And thank you guys for joining. I will introduce our panelists today, which are all Romanian. Very good thing. So the first one is Vladimir Oane. He co-founded Uberview in 2009. Uberview was the first social media aggregator in the world, and later it got acquired by Hootsuite. He is currently head of product for Hootsuite, managing all analytics products. And he wore a lot of hats since he started Uberview back in 2009, so he has a various experience in how to start a company and grow it internationally, expand it internationally. Szabi, Szekely, he's the co-founder of Halcyon Mobile, an award-winning mobile app design and development agency. He was featured in Forbes Romania as 30 under 30s, and he's the co-founder of numerous products. He's an advisor to various top-notch tech startups. He also has a very deep understanding of mobile development products. And this June, he'll be the first Romanian juror for the mobile section at Cannes, Lyon, and one of the 6 Romanian jurors ever to be invited to judge at this World Championship of Creativity. Congratulations. Flaviu Simihaian. He is the CEO and co-founder of iMedicare, a platform that helps pharmacies simplify healthcare for elderly people. Since he co-founded iMedicare in 2012, he's based between New York and Romania, mostly in New York. Your market is American mainly. He grew the platform to over 4,000 pharmacy customers. And as a past president of Charlotte University City Rotary Club, he spearheaded a $40,000 project to equip a computer lab in his hometown of Năsăud in Romania, so he's giving back to the Romanian society as well. And Daniel Tamas is our 4th panelist, and he's one of the co-founder of Romania's, one of the largest gaming studios in Romania. He does fun stuff, I think. One of the funnest things is doing mobile games. And they have millions of people from all over the world using their platforms. And as an entrepreneur, together with his partners, he grew the studio from nothing, from scratch. They didn't get funding, they didn't deal with investors, they didn't get consultancy, they just did it the hard way, basically, and built it to what it is today as one of the most important ones in Romania. Okay, so these are the panels. Is there anything that I missed in your bios that you think it's worth letting people know? What about fun things? What do you do for fun, guys? You play tennis, I know.
Not as much as I would like to.
Okay, so we are going to discuss if people should build the startups in Romania or go abroad. Romania was one of the first 8 countries to build a computer back in 1957. Currently, Romania has over 60,000 developers employed by companies such as Oracle, Microsoft, and a lot of outsourcing companies that saw the value of Romanian developers, technical people. It is estimated that by 2020, we will have over 150,000 technical people employed by foreign companies. So there is a lot of potential. The entrepreneurial ecosystem is growing, and I've seen it grow since 2010 when I organized the first event in Bucharest, and there were 30 people there. And now seeing Tech Sylvania, with over 1,000 attendees, it's a very good sign. Things are working. We're making a lot of progress in creating startups. You guys are also proof of the progress that we're making. So let's start with the beginning. How was it to set up a business in Romania? For you, Vladimir, you're doing it, you're the longest active in the industry, I think.
Yeah, the funny thing is I started the business in London, actually.
Okay.
So Overview got started after we won Seed Camp, which in 2008 was the only incubator accelerator in Europe. They were trying to be a European Y Combinator. So we applied to that and we won. And in London, we found entrepreneurial climate that was much more friendlier than Romania. So Overview started in London, but we soon opened an office in Bucharest for developing the product and creating the technology parts of it. After a few years, once we started to get clients and more clients, we couldn't find the talent to grow a SaaS business from Romania. So the London office moved to Boston, where we grew a business team of sales, support, all the other marketing, all the other business functions. So Romania for us was an R&D center, and I think Romania to this day is great at building technology. I don't think we're super great at building products, building services, and we are not very good at selling and supporting those. We need to improve there.
Okay. Let's not talk about the negatives yet.
We incorporated in Delaware just because it's very, very easy and fast. I was very lucky to win the green card lottery and move to North Carolina. And then we also participated in an accelerator in New York, and that's why we're based in New York now. 2/3 of our team is there, and 1/3 is in Cluj and Bucharest, the product and design teams. So I'll actually disagree later that you can build a better product with the team in Romania than the team in the US. But
thank you. How did you start?
We actually bootstrapped it right here in Cluj. So we've been doing it since 2005, self-funded. We always wanted to do products, so we knew that was the end goal. And we realized that it's going to take a lot of effort, financial effort to get there. And it's common knowledge that it's really hard to get funding in Romania, in Eastern Europe, in Europe in general. So we took on clients and we funded our own products with the money that we made on consulting and development projects.
How long did it take to become profitable?
Well, as a service company, as the service side of the company, it's not that difficult because you start a contract and then you get paid if you deliver, when you deliver. I think in the first or second year we started doing some small projects and made enough to get by, and then we started growing the team after the App Store and the Play Store came out 2008, 2009, and then we started really growing as a company. And we could afford to build more complicated and more complex products as a result.
Okay, thank you. Daniel?
We started out in 2007. Hello, by the way. As you mentioned, we had nothing. We had no idea about what funding is. Actually, it took a bit of time to actually understand the concept of funding because we literally had no idea what that was. And we also had to bootstrap it pretty fast because you had no other option. You either bootstrap or get hired somewhere else. So it was an easy decision. And we just did stuff. There was no plan. We learned as we went deeper and deeper in the industry. We think of it like this. We had no gaming industry in Romania. Nobody, you just consume games, you did not make games. And it was, in my point of view, a simple 8-year process.
Okay, so you hacked your way into the business world. Okay, great. How much, like one of the most, the biggest obstacles that people find when deciding if they should start in Romania or go abroad is the size of the market. They always, like, there's no market in Romania. People don't use technical products. You know, it's bigger to go global, or it's harder to reach a global market if you are in Romania compared to being in London or San Francisco, for example. So a lot of people use that, you know, the lack of the market to go abroad and start abroad. What do you think about that?
It actually depends on the stage you're in, and it's harder to go global when you're broke and you have a market in Romania. And if you're doing software, there is no local or global. It's just the internet, and it's just mobile apps. And of course, you need the marketing knowledge, but until you get the marketing knowledge and you get the firepower and the punch of venture money, the US venture money, and all that, those backers, you need to create a product that actually sells somewhere. And actually, Romania is a pretty fast adopter, early adopter. We're a bit tech savvy in Europe. We're not that lazy with that.
Yeah.
And one more thing to that, while I agree with that approach, I think that a lot of people make the mistake of restricting themselves to Romania. And because of this, we're missing out on a lot of great global products that, you know, as you said, is the internet. It doesn't matter where you're selling it, basically, it's the internet. And a lot, I've seen a lot of cases where they were focusing on Romania because of the wrong reasons, and they ended up not making it because, you know, they didn't have any relevant numbers to continue with that startup.
I'd say, you know, it's just as hard, right, to start to sell to, you know, 10 customers as it is to like 1,000. It still takes 100% of your effort. So I'd say the US is a better market to go after, and there's just more people. You know, there's 300 million instead of 20-some million. And we're in healthcare, which has its own terribleness in every country. So you don't want to start with a very small market because you won't get to critical size enough. So we already have, we're still very small, but with 4,000 customers, we already have 30 million people in our software. So that's more than the population of Romania. And I wouldn't even say we're very successful yet. So if we had started in Romania, I don't know that we'd have reached sustainability or critical mass to grow larger. But yeah, market size is big, which you know, we hope to go after China and even bigger markets next. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I follow the customer. If you have more customers outside of Romania, go there. And as been said before me, I mean, you would put in as much effort to get to $1 million as you would put in to get to $1 billion. So I don't know, just go after the bigger pot. If you have customers in Romania, yeah, serve them. In our case, we couldn't see our product being used by too many Romanians. We had customers outside of Romania, so it was a no-brainer for us to go where the customers are.
Thank you. I think one of the things that I have noticed here is that due to the fact that we have so many technical people, and most startup entrepreneurs in Romania have a technical background, I think that the most valuable thing that people can get by going abroad, by trying to start their business abroad, is access to the business experience that obviously is missing in Romania due to the historical background. So how do you think that we can make it easier for people to come to Romania and share their experience? Well, you know, the people that, for example, the speakers that came here for Tech Sylvania, how do we convince them to move to Romania and contribute, you know, and like teach the technical people here how to build businesses? What is missing currently in Romania that would make more people willing to come and start their business here?
I don't think teaching that way would work. First of all, I think it would be very, very hard to convince successful people in the US to move to Romania or to spend their time teaching. I think we foster an environment based on past successes. Having entrepreneurs that made it and then, I don't know, becoming investors or speakers or telling the message, that's how it works. So we have to build on all our small successes for, and to continue that path, rather than, I don't know, pay someone to move to Romania. I don't know why he would or she would do that. But yeah,
because it's amazing.
Yeah, no, it's cool, but realistically, there's not as much opportunity in Bucharest or in Cluj as compared to, I don't know, even Palo Alto. Or it's hard. But we have a few successful entrepreneurs, not just in Romania, but in the region, and those people can teach us more, and they can get more involved in the ecosystem, and step by step. As it was said, the growth mindset, we should be better today than we were yesterday and keep on going. This conference is better than last year, and last year was better than the previous year, and that's how we grow.
But I think you said that there are not that many opportunities. I think when the opportunities are not that obvious, it means that there are a lot more opportunities than in countries where the ecosystem is already developed, where things are already set in place. So I think that's actually an advantage to not have everything set up and working as ideally as it could or as it does in other countries. So in terms of that, why did you decide to set it up in New York, or like how do you collaborate between New York and Romania?
Yeah, well, the world is flat. Even the people that are in New York don't always come to the office and mostly show up remote to meetings, and they live 10 minutes away. So I'm not sure there's that big of a difference anymore between the team in Romania and the one in the US, and we do regular retreats, so we do some face-to-face, and overall, I don't think it's worse than some of the relationships you can have in the same office. So I don't think there's anything missing in Romania that needs to be brought from anywhere. If anything, it's more of a mentality, like an inferiority complex, that there's some great things happening in New York or Silicon Valley where it's already here, and if you say that sales is missing here, it's very easy to get sales experience, to just start making some phone calls, and there's your sales experience.
That's actually a regional issue with sales. I think that Eastern Europeans do not like to sell. Overall, like as a rule, they don't like to sell. They see it as something that's embarrassing, and I'm asking.
Well, it's very easy, and if that's true, hiring is a lot easier. So we scaled our sales team in New York from 1 to 10 people in 2-3 months. Whereas to scale, so it's very easy to hire salespeople, but to go from 1 senior engineer, Python engineer, to 10 senior Python engineers, that is not going to take a couple months, even if you're Google and have an unlimited budget. So
would you say that is an advantage in Romania for having such technical people?
Right, absolutely.
But still, it took the company here, it took them a few months to find a good product manager in finance. They actually could not find someone that had business experience and were very good at product. In financing. So I would say, that we do need that type of education, the business education that is lacking in the startup world, at least.
Yeah, but we're making some progress. I mean, the product owner job did not exist when we started. And for example, I'm part of a meetup for product managers in Bucharest, and we have 100+ attendees for every meetup. Not
so
all
they
of
should
them.
find you first.
No. I mean, I'm not saying that I did all that, but people are coming together and they want to learn from one another, and that happened organically. They didn't come to meet me or my friends or co-founders. They understand how important it is to to solve a real problem for your customer, and they come to meet other people who are in the same job. They might work at multinational companies like, I don't know, Adobe or Microsoft or some other places, or they might be product owners in their own startups. The fact that people come together and understand the problem and they're willing to discuss it openly, for me, it's a huge change for the better that it's happening in our country, and I saw it all to the region, not just in Romania.
I think that's great because it does foster that, people doing things out of passion because they really want to get better at what they do and they connect more with each other. So in 5 years, we probably won't have that problem with the missing business people.
And even if we look at this, lack of that specific skill set that we just mentioned and the better preparedness in tech, we shouldn't look at it as a disadvantage. We could, but we shouldn't. We should reverse it and draw inspiration from the fact that we're really good at technology, because we are, and try to build stuff that is technology heavy. I know it's been thrown around a couple of times, but I still don't see enough examples of this happening. And we're still trying to build business-to-business startups and products, which require a lot of sales, require a lot of good marketing, and we're not building technology-heavy products that could just as well be built from here. And probably we would even have an advantage by the fact that Google is still not like here and is not stealing away all the good tech folk. So yeah, I think that should be like one of the main areas that we could like really try to improve and use that to build some success stories. And I guess we can catch up with the rest later.
Okay.
I may have a very different view or not.
Good.
First of all, I do not necessarily believe in the fact that people have to come here. And if they don't, you go get them. So it's not that hard to go out as an entrepreneur and just get the people you want in the terms that you can book a flight, get some money and go grab the persons you want. Okay, I know the story is not that simple, but neither is your business. So this is one of the challenges you have to go through. Fortunately or unfortunately, we did not go through this step because we had no idea about it, and we ended up bootstrapping. But there are a lot of companies that were created in Romania and ended up being grown overseas because the founders had the availability to just go there. And there are some things, for instance, you cannot import. You cannot import networks, you cannot import money. For instance, one of the things, if I were to answer the question, what does it take? Stability in terms of your money as an investor. And Romania is not right there. We still need to work on that. So that's one of the reasons maybe we're still struggling with some aspects. But think of it like this. In Cluj, there are a lot of Dutch companies and UK companies that have their operations, do their products here. So I think it's more of a vision and a courage situation, not that you don't have the tools and the means. If you have the right vision and go and find the right investors to believe in, you can be in the Himalayas in a tree.
Okay, thank you. So we established that you can outreach to a global market from Romania. We have technical people. You guys are saying that it's relatively simple to outreach to business people or get product managers, figure out the business side of a startup besides the technical one. We can definitely talk about the lack of investments, but there are a few things like investments, the security of the country, how easy it is to set up here bureaucratically, how easy it is to dissolve a company, because I know that, for example, in Moldova, I lived there for the past 6 months, and it's very easy. You can create a company in 3 days, but it takes 2 years to dissolve it. So that's also a problem, especially in the startup world. There are certain things that improve it or not. And I want to go, I think that all of these go back to the health of the ecosystem and how the government is getting involved in this. And like Tim said earlier, we should support startups or projects that are created to make the country easier to work in. And I think I noticed in my past 6 years working with startups and traveling all over the world, meeting the ecosystems, I've noticed that the main difference between developing countries and developed countries is that in developing countries, people think, what can I do right now so that in 5 years I'm not here anymore? And in developed countries, people think, what can I do right now so that in 5 years I have a better life where I am right now? And that, how do we change the mentality so people can actually get more involved in what is happening nationally and how we can improve the business environment for startups? Yes.
I want to add something, and maybe you know, maybe you don't, and this is also for the US people and the entrepreneurs in Romania. For instance, Transylvania is on the US Embassy, Romanian US Embassy, as a recommended place to invest in for US investors. So we have the PR in place.
But what the US is endorsing and what is actually happening, they're two different things.
Well, at least you have this. And what can the state do? Nothing. It's better off doing nothing. Just don't help.
How can you say that? They set up a business angel networks, and after that, they actually changed the law to make it easier or better for angels to become investors. And I think that it's an ecosystem. And okay.
If the ones creating these laws would actually be involved in the environment and would have the right knowledge, yes. But as an entrepreneur, you better know, you know better what, or at least you're on the path of finding what is better for your business. The state will never know what's better for your business than you.
No, but the entrepreneurs can drive it. And how do you motivate? How do you change their mindset so they actually can do things against what is already existing?
Usually in Romania, an entrepreneur is divergent with the political side.
You cannot, because I mean, like we have different goals. Our goal as entrepreneurs is to help our customers do amazing things, and the politicians wants to get re-elected, or they have their own personal agendas. So, yeah, I mean, like the best thing that the state can do is get out of our way. I mean, the state, we succeeded in spite of the state, and not because of it. I mean, I had to go and explain to my American colleagues or my US investors to, in a way, trust the system, although since we started the company in 2008, established the Romanian entity, and to the minute we sold it, I think the fiscal law changed 100 times, and I had people in the US thinking like, this is a crazy country. I mean,
but it doesn't have to be always like this.
But
like,
it
this
is.
The thing but it changes, and it can become better in 5 years.
No. I mean,
well, I title myself a social innovation architect, so I think that this
education.
Can happen.
These guys are clueless, and they come from,
like
no,
right
all of them are clueless. They come from communist backgrounds, they don't understand
They can learn.
No, like, just
we
leave
had
us
this
alone.
Before a different dinner
We
tables.
have to be left alone. We're doing cool things. I mean, this conference happened because of passion, because of drive. I was speaking at a state-organized conference that cost them $500,000, where there were 5 people in the audience last week. That's the difference, where the states get involved and they spend huge amounts of money to produce crap, and this conference, which is built on passion. Yeah, I mean, that's the difference. I want more private this than the state bullshit, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, we can definitely talk about this, for hours. But
if you
I want to
disagree, let's have a fight.
we don't have time for that.
I have the agreeing face.
No, I like arguing. I love arguing.
It's not as terrible. For anybody who's not from Romania, it's not that bad. It's just a matter of time. Like our senior architect, for example, had to pay his taxes, and you can't pay him online. You have to pay him in person, and he had a few years of backlog. He ended up having to go with a backpack of cash. He had like 6,000 euros, in his backpack, going to the tax office, waiting in line for 2-3 hours. He was at the wrong line, ended up having to come after lunch because, there's break at lunch. So like that's an hour of our like architecture not moving forward because of this. That's the way I look at it. So it's just slowing us down a little bit here and there. So yeah.
Szabi, do you have an opinion on this?
I guess we should stop with this topic because we'll be here until tomorrow if we try to figure out how to fix the government.
No, we're not trying to figure out how to fix the system. We're trying to figure out how to fix the mentality so people have more hope for the future. But we only have 1 minute left. And I wanted to take questions from the audience, but I don't think we have time for that because I like to be on time. So if you guys are going to be around and you want to talk more with them about how to start a business in Romania or what are the advantages of going abroad or staying here, that would be great. And if you can answer that really quickly in 1 sentence to wrap it up, that would be great. So.
How to build a business in Romania?
Yes. No.
It's easy. Just do it. Just do it. Don't
against the government, against the lack of funding, against the lack of security.
Doesn't matter. Like there are thousands of things trying to cross your way, and that's true everywhere else. So
just take the first
try
step.
Look ahead and try to dodge everything that comes your way and try to build a good product, and the users will come.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so focused on Romania, Bulgaria, Hungary, US. Just think of who the customer is, what problem you want to solve, and go solve it. If that happens to be here, do it here. If that happens to be in New York, go to New York or wherever you need to be to make the world a better place. I think the location is becoming more and more irrelevant, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'd agree. And it's just it's hard to change the U.S. government as it is the Romanian government, I'd say. So.
Thank you.
Critical mass, so it's like the way we get partnerships, for example, is we want to partner with somebody and say, hey, let's partner, and he's like, no. So then, like, oh, crap, how do we prove to this person or the government that you should do X, Y, or Z? Well, they have constituents, they have customers, right? Our partners have customers, the government has citizens that vote them into office. So as soon as you mobilize, lobbying works everywhere. Even in a communist country, if enough people get, in the streets and lobby for a change, eventually it's going to happen. So I'd approach the same way, sales, partnerships, and changing the government. Once you get a critical mass of constituents to care about an issue, the other people will follow. So
I'm going to use one word: hustle. This is just what the government teaches us, and I think, and I truly believe that as a Romanian, you really learn how to hustle like in your first month of life.
Okay, good. And I would say take the first step and don't be afraid of failure. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks.